This is Entrepreneur Studio, brought to you by SC Biz News. I'm Patrick Bryant, CEO of software development firm Code and Trust and chairman of the Harbor Entrepreneur Center. Our sponsor is Matt Pardick and Chris Corley of Harbor Wealth Management Group, who are no strangers to helping entrepreneurs in our community. We're with Earl Bridges, the founder of Good Done Great, which is a tech company that had a really fantastic run.
Oh yeah.
The whole from start to finish was about what?
6 years. 6
years.
From the time that I started, programming in my bed by myself to the time that we actually exited is about 6 years.
So, tell me. 6 years, pretty good exit for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Was it that easy?
Oh, it's all easy. Boy, there's nothing harder, man, is it? From the time that you convince your very first investor, who in my case was my wife, to the time that we actually convinced the last investor and then exited, that's a long journey. But inside of that, I think what most people don't realize is when they want to be an entrepreneur is that you've got all the risk. You've got all that pressure on you. And you're the last person that gets paid on a lot of that time. So at the end of it, I knew there was always a big bucket of money out there. But I think in the 6 years, we had 208 payrolls, and I think we sweated every one. You get to the end of it where it's Wednesday and payroll's Friday, and you have no idea how that's going to happen unless that one deal comes through. We were dealing with the world's largest companies. We had Nike, Monsanto, AIG, Capital One, Home Depot. We had all these companies. We're a biggish company, and yet the thing that I worried about was whether or not I was going to make my own mortgage, because all of my money I was all in on this deal, and I had to take care of everyone else before I took care of myself.
Well, and a lot of times it's not even things that it's definitely not always poor planning. I mean, you just mentioned some really big names. The funny thing about being in bed and partnering and having customers that are big names like that is at the end of the day, they don't think of you. Right. When they miss a check, right? So it's like, oh yeah, that's a net 30. Oh, don't worry, we'll get it to you 2 weeks from now. Or there was a snafu with the check. They don't realize that, no, that is literally the money I need to pay people tomorrow.
Exactly. There is a fraternity. There's a group of us that all get how hard it is, but sometimes that's not on the other side where they never have to worry about getting paid. So they don't realize that when they push it out 15 days, how you're just getting crushed and you're trying to put on a brave face and say it's all going to be cool, and you're thinking, can you get it today?
Right.
We had a good investor that really helped us out. We could go to, and I remember doing that. We were asking him for another $250K because we thought we were closing a deal, and it didn't come in. And it was. Wednesday got to Wednesday. We had to make payroll by Friday. So go to the investor and say, would you mind
investing another $250K?
Like, exactly. When is it? When do you need that money? Well, we need it by Friday. Because we have to have payroll by Friday. He's like, all right, I'm in. That's great. Sorry, we actually need it on Thursday because we have to run payroll so that the money shows up on Friday.
Right.
But those things, it does keep you up at night. People don't realize that all of that pressure is on you. I will tell you, at the end of the day, I did fine. I did fine. And you forget a little bit of that pain of childbirth, but it's not lost on me how hard this job is.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the thing about, especially as you get to that exit point where you really are struggling right up to that finish line, and then it happens, and all of a sudden things seem easy.
And people like us, it's like I'm always all in, so it's like there's very little room for failure, which keeps you up at night, but also keeps you really focused and laser. And I think there's a value to it, but it makes life hard.
The roller coaster indeed. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.